Hey everyone, hey Craig Vinyl community, back at you with another video, but this time this one's a bit different. I kind of got my first VCLT. I'll explain that in a minute. I had a great weekend last weekend. A few of you knew my wife and I, Vicky, who you've met before in here. We celebrated our first year wedding anniversary, and we actually went back. It's a few hours away from here. We spent a couple of nights at the beach and travel around to a lot of the beautiful places we love in the Sunshine Coast hinterland in southeast Queensland. Getting to what I'm at here now, I received a package, and a shout out to Brad from the Tech Webcast. I'll put links in the description below. As some of you will know, not too long ago, I was featured on their podcast talking about my vinyl collection and interest in vinyl and music. And so thanks again, Brad, for that. So Brad and the team do a show every week, almost every week. So if you click in the links below and subscribe to the podcast, they talk a lot about stuff about vinyl and music, some gadgets as well. But I think Brad's going to start concentrating more on vinyl. His co-host, Jacob Jones. G'day, Jacob. How are you, mate? Jacob's over in the States. And Betty, hello if you're watching, Betty. They're all part of the team as well, so they all put this show together. And Brad lives in Melbourne, in Australia. Brad picked up something the other day. He contacted me. I think it was in a record store or somewhere. Don't know the story. Brad can make note in the comments, but he picked up a couple of vinyls of the same artist, as I understand, and he really only needed one of them. I'm not sure of the full story. And he contacted me quickly and said, Craig, I've got this. Do you want it? And I said, oh, yeah. I said, mate, I appreciate it. You know exactly the stuff I love. So this is what's in here. Whether there's anything more in here, I don't know. But I'm just really appreciated, Brad. Someone sent me something, and I can't wait to open it. So here we go. Gotta be careful. And that looks like the kind of bag you might get at a record store. There might be a record in here. Oh yes. Here it is. Now before I show this, this artist is so important for the rock and the early rock, blues, through the 50s, through the 60s and the 70s, but mainly the 50s and 60s in particular. This guy was massive. I mean, he was one of the biggest blues guys, one of the biggest influences ever. And a lot of these vinyl is very expensive to get. I was listening to him the other day. I mean, a lot of his music I've heard on TV advertisements. That bluesy sort of stuff, you know. He was right. There was a song about I go walking down the street. You know, that sort of 12-bar blues. I go walking down the street. If I see my baby there, I hope she don't do me wrong, type of thing. Real simple lyrics of a simple part of your own life. You know, just walking down the street. I love how they do that, and then they go into like a break with a couple of guitars or bass and harmonica, and just sort of rattle that in between each verse. And then he comes in with his vocals, and he just sort of a rolling growl into the next verse. I mean, that's just great blues. And he's there. You can imagine him playing in the studio. This guy and two other guitarists just sort of trying to feel the rhythm, just playing in a small circle with acoustic guitars, a old wooden floor, and just thumping their feet to the beat on the floor and just looking at each other and trying to get the groove going. I mean, this is what this is about. For those Rolling Stones fans, you'll remember hearing on a couple of interviews Keith Richards talking about the time don't get me wrong, I'm not quite sure, but it was something like he was with Keith Richards, or he met Keith Richards at the railway station. This is when they were in their teens, late teens, before they sort of just glued together. And he mentioned whether it was Keith or Charlie, I'm not sure, and Keith's saying, and there he was, man, with, he had Chuck Berry at the hops and this guy. I'll just say it. The guy was Muddy Waters, and I think this is what this record is. Oh, yes. Look at that cover. Look at that cover. I mean, that is great blues. I mean, I love blues music. I played a lot of blues on the guitar and so forth, and this guy is just magic to me. And when Brad said he's got this, I sort of looked it up. I know this is I think a reissue or a recent release, but I did not even check what songs are on there. It just seemed like a reasonable price. I said, yep, that'll be great. And let's have a look at the songs. I've been waiting for this. Okay, well, it's called Original Blues Classics, and it certainly is. I'm looking at side 1, track 1, Manish Boy. 2, Got My Mojo Working. 3, Baby Please Don't Go. Track 6, I Just Want to Make Love to You. Track 7, I'm Your Hoochie Coochie Man. I mean, these are absolute blues classics. Rolling Stone on side B. Honey Bee is a massive song. And a good write-up there, which would probably be a general write-up about Muddy. So thanks again, Brad. This is awesome. Awesome. Just hold on now. I'll keep the seal on, and I'll just split it down, and let's just have a look at the contents. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I've just cut the split down here, and let's have a look. There we go. And yeah, it definitely feels like a 180 gram. Looking at side A here. It says Not Now Music. Does anyone know what Not Now Music is? If you can put a comment below. Anyone familiar with that? The corners are cut here. And here she is. Bit of dust. For a new record, it's a bit dusty. But there you go. Muddy Waters Original Blues Classics. Brad, that is awesome. That is really going to make my day when I've got a few minutes, which will probably be hopefully tonight. For you who don't know, still sticking around, my wife actually busted her knee yesterday. So we're at the hospital yesterday. Probably a medial tear in her right knee, possibly an ACL. So she's hobbling around out there while she has graciously allowed me to do a video. So thank you, honey. So there you go, Muddy Waters, Original Blues Classics. So thanks again, Brad and his partner Jacob Jones on the webcast. As I said, just check it below. Subscribe if you like. Have a listen, and support vinyl. Support the vinyl community. Cheers out. Thanks.